All right. There it is. There it is, man. What's going on, world? The voice, trying to keep it at a slight minimum, perhaps. Let me raise up the mic a bit. I needed it slightly higher. I don't know if that matters. My chin won't be too low when I'm speaking, but it'll be at just enough height or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how much my voice carries. There was a group in here a while ago, and they had a very probably soft-spoken group, I could say. Like, it was just a group of women, so that's my assumption. They had a dude there though, so I don't know what the group is about. It's none of my business. But here I am. I have access to the room. Um, a couple of things. I guess I'll keep this one as a. Actually, hold on. Let me grab the markers here. You know, I was actually given at this particular space a thing of markers. Let's see which ones work, because some of them don't work. So let's see. All right, this one works. TTH221. Hopefully you guys can see that shit. All right, that's good. It's centered. It's funny when I start center left and I go that way because my camera has to be placed at an angle. It's good. So TTH 221, TTH 221. For those that are wondering, that is the Truancy hour. If you just happen to click the video based off of the title slash picture, whatever, TTH 221 is the Truancy hour. The Truancy hour 221, episode 221. The first 200 was a what do you call this? First 200 was live streams, more or less. Some of them are pre-recorded, but more or less a lot of it was live streams outside. We are here in the dead of the fall and winter, so I'm doing as much as I can indoors. So every week, whether it's today or tomorrow, I'm gonna have rooms available, if not reserved. Right now, this is a reservation. I'm gonna try to do about 30 plus from here. But yeah, get this 30 plus going, and yeah, man, TTH 221. This is episode 221. We're going to talk about this university mindset. I like to start everything off with this, because today I wanted to do like just a check-in, just a simple check-in, real quick. So, university mindset, keeping it simple. Keeping it real simple right here. I'm over here monitoring the door like somebody's gonna walk in, just in case, because that's the other thing too. Is like, people know the time they signed up for and they don't want to leave beforehand, but also the clock inside is messed up. So I give people the benefit of a doubt. So I say all this to say this, man. You understand the degrees of things in life that you have withstood and handled. You understand the threshold of things in life, the degree of things that you have went through, survived, and just simply handled and dealt with up to this point. You also understand the threshold of things that you will no longer tolerate, things that you won't go through anymore, things that you can further handle as well in order to get to the goals or the certain things in your life that you want to accomplish. I say all this to say because I want people to start certifying themselves, their own existence as a human being. I want people to start certifying their own souls. You know what I'm saying? Certifying themselves as human beings, as simple living beings that deserve to be respected and loved. A lot of that starts with respecting and loving yourself. See, because the thing is, people will go to schools, they'll go to universities, colleges, community colleges, vocational institutes, technical colleges, all the if, ands, and in betweens, arts colleges, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Culinary schools, all the extracurricular school stuff, specific school things and trade school places that you can go to after regular high school, after regular, K through 12. After all that preliminary stuff, you will go back to school just to further try to validate yourself or further your education or whatever. You know what I mean? You'll try to further yourself. And I'm not necessarily mad at that. I'm not against that, obviously. My point is this, man. People go through that stuff to get a certain wage, if not a certification or a degree, to sit there and validate themselves, to validate their existence. The higher pay validates their existence. The higher pay validates the fact that they're a valuable human being and person. Don't get me wrong. Getting a higher pay is great. because that way you can provide for more people. You can provide for a better living situation for the people that you're housing, if not yourself. It's all great. But to sit there and pretend like that is a value system for your own existence, that is a value system for one's soul. The soul has nothing to do with this monetary game, this monetary system that we're having to subject ourselves to, unfortunately. It has nothing to do with that. So, yeah, man. I want people to start validating, certifying their soul based off the degree of things that they understand, that they have already withstood, survived, and are continuing to go through. What you're continuing to choose to go through in order to get to your goals. Because sometimes, we gotta, when you start seeing the scope of things and the stuff that, you let pass by, you understand what you need to survive in order to get to where you're trying to go right now. And I hope that everyone gets there. I hope that everyone stays the course, and I hope that everyone starts validating themselves as a human being, because it doesn't matter, man. Like, once you start getting that new car, that starts making you feel good about yourself. Once you start getting those new clothes, once you start getting that new degree, that better job, that better living situation, once you start getting all these better things, you also can't overlook the fact that there was a time period where you gave up a seat for an old lady or a handicapped person on the bus. There's a time that you paid for someone else's meal when you guys went out to eat. Just all the small things, the minuscule things that are overlooked, because those little things aren't valued compared to a specific degree or a specific wage, a specific car brand, or this fact that you have a car, you're no longer riding the bus. All these if, ands, and maybes. Like, there's a lot of these things that validate one's existence, validate one's comfortability, but your soul during the hardest times, at the lowest times, whether you were willing to provide and give still, or just simply just be something that was still warm to people. You understand? There's something about that that's very valuable that I feel a lot of us lose sight of. But, I say all this to say, don't stop trying to elevate your status, if not your living situation, your comfortability. You should always do that. You know what I mean? Every time you see me do the university mindset, you see me with, some of the, just like a polo, like a collared shirt. That's what I've been doing for these early university mindsets. You know what I mean? And then, after I'm done breaking out the little, whatever, silk lavender, we're going to sit there and pop in with the suit. I'm going to pull the suit out. It's fun. Hold on, man. Let me get this shit out the way. It's just funny. It's actually funny to me. Let me unbutton this shit, because this shit uncomfortable. I bought this shit when I was skinnier, man. Your boy getting a little fatter. I ain't gonna lie, boy. Your boy eating a little good, eating better. I was eating good for a while. Right now we eating all right. So we're going back a little bit, going back to the basics, man. I just wanted to do a quick check-in with myself personally. We're gonna work backwards a little bit from the last one. The last one was the variety pack of 220. 220 was recorded on a Saturday, because Sunday I ended up going to play Beyblade, do some Beyblade with my friends over at the Tabletop Village. We're just doing our little thing over there. And that was fun. We did a little tester. It was a tester for, what do you call this? There's an event I'm going to try to, not necessarily run, but I want to help facilitate, if you will. I don't like being in charge of that type of, when it's a fun activity, if it's a freeing activity that's fun, I like to give my participation, but I don't like being fully in charge, because I can be overly controlling of stuff if I'm put in charge of stuff. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be that guy. This isn't the time and place for that. It's a fun event. It's a fun activity, fun hobby. I want to keep it that way. So, with that being said, actually, the mic is still attached, so let me adjust this window real quick. It's bothering me. It's just bothering my mental. Just looking at it. Give me a second, man. There we go. It's just bothering me. Got to fix it. So, Saturday I did my variety pack. I was like, I'm getting close to just feeling my wit's end. I kind of knew, like, yeah, I'm kind of at the end here of my day. I did about 3 recordings that day, knocked out a lot of hard work. You know what I mean? So that means that week I did one on On a Thursday, because I believe in Thanksgiving, infiltrated the spot. I took over. I was like, let's just get this in. Got it in. And I did 3 more on that Saturday. I came back in. The security guards weren't giving a fuck. I was like, all right, y'all don't care. I'm going to be in the rooms then. I just started knocking it out. 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? I was doing a couple things in the middle, in between. Anyway, Sunday, had the little tester Beyblade event. That was fun. That was dope. It was pretty chill. A lot of different people coming in and out the room. And most people were promising that they were going to come in by Sunday. So I was like, okay, Sunday, that's going to be dope. Because come Sunday, we're going to have a lot of stuff going on. Tonight, my guy Chris is doing something for the Friday Spectacular. You know what I'm saying? Hangout event. He's always in charge of that, man. He does it at the Oasis. So it's Beyblade and Boba. That's what they say. Beyblade and Bubble Tea. So he does that. He makes sure it happens on Mondays and Fridays. Whenever there's a holiday on the weekday, he makes sure it happens. People come through, they come hang out, and we do our little thing, man. So that's my guy Chris. He's taking care of that. I'm gonna go out to that event after I do these recordings, after I do some stuff, do a little quick live stream off the laptop, and I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna head out, be on my way over there, do my little whatever. Have a little fun tonight, man. So it's weird, man. So that was Sunday, and then Monday. What did I do Monday, man? I'm trying to remember how productive I was, if I was at all. It's just a little quick check-in, man. It's just a little quick check-in. That Monday, I don't even remember what I did, to be honest with you. Either I tried to do some live streams or I didn't. More than likely, I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did pull out the camera and I made sure I made something happen. Now, to what degree, I don't necessarily remember. But I do know I tried my best to make something happen. Monday, I probably just sat around the library, did a couple live streams here and there, put a couple things up, posted all the videos that I did over that weekend, or that week, Thursday, and then the 3 on Saturday. That's 4 videos. So we're like 4 videos ahead of schedule because they're coming out every week, right? And these are dated. So, the last ones you saw were November. This is the first videos being recorded in the month of December. I downloaded Octopath Traveler. We'll get into that in a second, actually. So anyway, here's the point I'm making, man. Tuesday I go into work. Tuesday was preparing for Wednesday. That's the thing about my job. Tuesday, whatever you do Tuesday prepares for the events happening on Wednesday. Whatever you do Wednesday prepares for the events that night, if not the event that's happening Thursday. There was no event on Thursday, but there were events happening that Wednesday night. So we got to prepare for that. So we're just doing a lot of physical work Tuesday and Wednesday. Boop, boop, doing it like that. I feel like Wednesday night, for sure, I definitely had to smoke a joint. I didn't have to, but I was like, yo, we got to let the muscles relax a little bit. Pop, pop, smoke a joint. So Wednesday and Thursday, right? Today's Friday. Okay, so Wednesday night. Tuesday. Tuesday night, I'm doing my Taco Tuesday live. That's what it was. Monday, I did a couple lives, walked around, mobbed around, whatever. Good connection, bad connection, just moved around. Did a couple live streams, walking back and forth to and from the library. You know what I'm saying? All that. Tuesday, I did my Taco Tuesday live. I did that. I was taking care of it, knocking out business, taking care of things, making it happen. You feel me? I'm talking to my friend Amanda on the Taco Tuesday live. I started explaining, and I've been saying this the whole week, saying this the whole damn week, telling people like, hey man, I'm getting ready and preparing. I'm on my Duolingo. I've been manifesting slowly. Just getting a couple videos in, getting a couple informational stuff in, and just studying a little more about Japan. I'm trying to move out there. I ain't trying to be around this crazy American shit. I ain't trying to be around none of this. Your boy ain't trying to be around none of this. Daily, this is what I'm saying, weekly check-in, hear me out. I was saying that. It's falling on deaf ears. There's a few people here and there talking about, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Shout out to my friend Kat on Sunday. We're gonna backtrack a little bit. On Sunday, I was talking to my friend Kat. I said, Kat, I'm trying to, that's what I'm telling you, I'm trying to prepare and move out to Japan. There's a level of disrespect, discrimination, and just violence and chaos that I'm very accustomed to living here in the United States. Growing up in Seattle, growing up in the Central District, growing up in the time between the 90s and 2000s in the Central District, just growing up in Seattle. You know what I'm saying? There's a level of chaos and ignorance that I was so accustomed to. And I was okay with being around that shit. I was like, man, I'm going to be living in the hood forever. That's what I'm thinking. Even if I make it famous as a boxer, I'm going to still live in the hood right here. I'm going to still be around my friends, my people, my folks, etc. No pun intended. You know what it is. If you know, you know. Just being around them folks, man. That's what I'm thinking. That's how I'm feeling. I want to be around the shits, man. I ain't trying to be around no glossy bullshit, no weirdo shit, you know what I'm saying? People talking to each other all calm and condescending in the suburbs. I've seen that shit. I've been around that shit. I want to be around it. I'm good off of that. Keep me away from that shit. So anyway, I was just talking to my friend Kat. I'm like, I'm about ready to move to Japan, man. At this point in my life, I'm like, catch me in Japan, bro. Fuck all this. Catch me in Japan, bro. Fuck living over here with this bullshit. All this ignorant shit, this chaos stuff, the wrong people's morale getting heightened, and the different type of empowerment that's happening with some idiots. I'm good off of that, man. Because there's a point of like, nobody can say in these years whether I was organizing or just trying my best when I was organizing on some community shit or just doing my best in general, just talking to people one on one as individuals. No one can say I didn't try. It's funny, my friend Kat, I said my cat, my bad Cat. My friend Kat goes, shit, you think you're not gonna deal with, you're dealing with discrimination here. I guarantee you're gonna go through the same thing over there. It might be a little worse. I was like, you're not wrong. I'm trying to peep out them sounds, bro. Hold on. And I'm like, she's like, or they're like, you think discrimination here is one thing, it's gonna be a little worse over there. I said, you're not wrong. But I will tell you like this, man, of all the ignorant shit I've been used to, man, it's not gonna be an altercation. It's gonna be a straight up verbal, if not, staring type of communication, discrimination, but it ain't gonna be no altercation. It's not gonna be no physical altercation. And that's the thing in the States here, I'm with the shits. I'm with the shits when it comes to that physical altercation. I'm like, let me know what it is, man. Because if you talk and yap and all that shit, I'll sit there and I'll talk and yap with you all day. Because if you want to start out talking, we'll end it talking. But the moment you start throwing fists, you might get laid out. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not the type of person. I grew up boxing my whole life. I'm not the type of person to sit there and brag about skills and power and all that shit. I got what I got and I can do what I can do. Let's see if we can make it happen in this particular altercation, this situation, in the heat of the moment. Let's see if we can make it happen. If not, then whatever. At least I defended myself. That's the point, man. As long as you defend yourself, right? Even if I take an L, I've never taken an L in the street fight necessarily, but at the same time, I'm like, I'd be sitting there, like there's one fight where I pretty much won because I had this dude's head ringing and he couldn't really fight no more, but he was still trying to fight back. And he kept on telling me, even after the fight, because I was trying to get him a beer. He's like, hey, man, my head is fucking buzzing. I'm bleeding and shit. God damn. And I'm just like, it's cool, man. Let's go get this beer, man. But in my mind, I still think I lost because the other scrimmages leading up to the final hits that I was throwing, I just feel like he got the best of me. That's just me, that's just me being I'm a perfectionist, you know what I'm saying? If I ain't perfectly beat your ass, pause, then I don't feel like I won. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I constantly improve and I perfect myself. So shit, man, I could probably beat the shit out of somebody, really have their bones and everything just all caved in. But the fact that they hit me like 5 times with clean shots, I'm like, damn, low key, I don't know, man. I don't know if I won that one. I gotta perfect. I gotta be on some perfect cell shit, some goofy shit. That's just me. That's beside the point. If I go to Japan and I get discriminated, man, if I go to Japan and get discriminated, bro, I'll tell you like this. It doesn't necessarily come with the physical altercation. And it's crazy because I just got done seeing a video of like this, it's a former black soldier living his life in Okinawa, Japan, getting confronted by some white soldiers who couldn't wait to put some grappling, slamming techniques on him. Something about presenting ID. Oh yeah, the American soldiers are strict amongst themselves and with themselves in Okinawa. But why are you over here manhandling people? Especially someone who was a former captain. Man right here was a former captain. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? That's a whole different conversation and perspective right there. That's just one way to look at it. I ain't trying to be in Okinawa. I ain't trying to deal with that army-based shit. Get me the fuck away from that. I'm trying to get away from American shit. I'm about to work for Sony, man. Let me get them PlayStation 6s. Fuck that. Let me get that PlayStation 6, bro. I'm trying to work on that Sony. What you need me to be? Security guard, bro? Let's get it. Something. Let me do something. Either that or I'm going to be a boxing coach out there. Teaching motherfuckers the real way. That's just me, though. Check this out, man. I said, okay, I get discriminated over there. I get discriminated overseas. Is it a physical altercation? It might be. That's always on the table. But there's a culture of respect and whatever over there where they're like, hey, they might feel some way, talk some shit, but they're going to leave it as is and shut the fuck up. Because the motherfuckers know how to shut the fuck up. That's the funny part. Now, will I get shot for being discriminated? The amount of times that motherfuckers was willing to fucking kill me my whole life, people threatening my life, police harassing me, and them motherfuckers is trained. They just waiting for me to flinch and do a little slight movement before they start shooting. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? If you ain't never been through it, you ain't never been through it. I'm just trying to tell you. So a lot of these times, there's different forms of discrimination and just being profiled against. And then all it takes is like one white woman. That's what I'm saying. All it takes is one white woman to get scared or just be on some bullshit. All of a sudden, some guns come out and motherfuckers start getting tased. You ever been in that position before, man? I ain't actually ever been physically hemmed up or physically, distraught or, attacked by any police officers, but it got real close a lot. I ain't gonna say a lot of times, but a couple of times. I'll say like a handful of times. So I understand that. And it's just like I don't see that shit happen in Japan necessarily. So my thing is like, okay, I get discriminated against overseas in a nice, peaceful, respectful country where that's the part of the culture. Am I gonna get shot for it? No. Am I gonna sit there and get in a physical altercation? Not necessarily. And if it does happen, at least it's a fair fight. And I'm gonna get that motherfucker some sake. I'm gonna be like, hey man, let me get you some sake. I don't even drink, bruh. Let me get you some drink. I don't even drink. Blah, blah, blah. What we doing? How we living? So that was Sunday. Fast forward Tuesday. I'm bringing up the same shit. Talk about Tuesday live. I'm talking my shit. I'm talking my shit. I'm saying it out loud, putting it out there. People ain't really feeling me. Nobody really responding. Okay, cool. Fuck it. Wednesday, I'm talking to my guy. Shout out to my guy Joe. My guy Joe did his last days of work on Wednesday. He's finally going overseas. He's going to Europe. My guy going to Europe. Going over there. I'm not going to dispel exactly where he's going because, I ain't trying to talk too much about that man's business. I know he's trying to get away from the bullshit. Let's let that man get away from the bullshit. Fuck all that. He not me. He not me where I'm publicly being honest and real transparent about everything. My guy Joe over there, man. He about to go overseas. Me and him talking all day. I said, hey, man, I told him the same shit I just said. I said, I go overseas. I ain't dealing with the same discrimination over here. I ain't dealing with no altercation, no none of that. I try to explain to him. I say, there's a little neighborhood library I go to, man. People be tripping all day. The craziest thing that I thought about was I started seeing these white women that flinch all the time. These fucking white ladies be flinching all the time. They see the appearance of you. They see the way you walk. You just get either you enter the place or you move a certain way. Or you ask a certain question. You get real close. You make eye contact. You talk to them. They start getting a little scared. My thing is, man, I don't think my family's ever had any generation in their life where there wasn't any chaos or just staying on point and being strong in the face of danger. You understand? There's a lot of white people here that don't understand and like really exercise their privilege to the sense of like, yo, I've had it good my whole life. Like I never got to think and worry about the signs here and there. I got to sit there and be on guard because there isn't much institutionalized or internalized racism within my group and culture. Not to the point of violence. You understand? That's what a lot of us black and brown people have, bruh. A lot of institutionalized and internalized racism culturally. That all came down from some form of colonialism that we still embody within ourselves. So when they say that, hey man, we're a violent people, I was like, no. You gotta remember, we was living real peaceful where we was at until you started instilling that new type of trauma and shit within our cultures before you started bringing us and saying, hey man, we're gonna fuck with y'all mentally, we're gonna fuck with your history, we're gonna fuck up your whole thing, and then now you should come to America, the land of the free. What kind of shit is that? Shit is all a hoax, man. It's just some goofy ass shit, man. You really should just be where you need to be at. Ain't nothing wrong with playing with American money, but at the same time, how much is it really worth it? You know what I'm saying? How much is that really worth it? Because the thing about me is I'm not gonna lie about it. Anyway, let's fast forward a bit, man. Getting a little off topic because a lot of people ain't trying to hear that shit. Because a lot of people ain't lived it. If you know, you know. But if you ain't lived it, you wouldn't know. I be knowing my history too well. I talk to my family members. I talk to the homies' grandma. I talk to the homies' grandpas. They tell me that same shit that went down in the South. I was like, damn, that's a little different than what my family went through in the Philippines. It sounds like the same shit. My Mexican homies got the same fucking stories. Same type of shit. I was like, yeah, it's just one generation after another, some bullshit. We hurting each other, but it all came down from a common hurt. Not to say that we never was at war with each other. Not to say that the tribes never were beefing, but there wasn't over here colonializing and enslaving to that degree where the history and all the other shit gets erased. It was never to that degree. But here we are at a time where you can finally attain and achieve peace. Create some privilege. You understand? Create some privilege within your timeline, within your family line, if anything. Here's a time period where you can do that. We hit the 24 mark. Here's what I'm saying, bruh. Here's what I'm saying right here. Oh, got the kids right there. What they doing? How's it going? So that's the thing right there. We have this time period, this timeline right here, where you can actually make this happen. My point is this, right? My point is this. We got the whole family waiting for the elevator. Hold on, there's a family right here waiting for the elevator. I gotta wave at the kid. I have to wave at the kid. Dude's over here just picking his nose, bro. That shit funny. That shit funny as hell. I'm over here watching both windows now. I have to do that. One for myself, because it's like, damn, I started really doing the knowledge of like, okay, 5 generations, all the way to my great grandpa. Let's do the math real quick. And it's like, there's never been a sense of peace in any of them generations. It's been, I think towards my niece's generation, it got a little more peaceful, but I was like, she's also a female, so no one's really fucking with her. People don't, the way that men attack each other and deal with, conflict with each other, women don't really do that, man. They don't really do that, man. It's a little, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little different. It's just a little different. So, just in terms of the men, it's like, where's the peace going to be at? Where can we see that side of it? There's been, compared to my dad's generation, there's been a big jump of like conflict and peace. There's a lot more peace in my generation compared to his, even though I'm dealing with all the traumas of their generational shit, and I had to embody it in my generation. Does that make sense? Like, just the ass whoopings and the mental whatever defeat kind of stuff that they went through, they've instilled it into me, and I have to sit there and rewire it and undo it. So I won't pass it on to the next one. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? You understand? So my whole thing with that is, even with that being said, I was still able to have time and space to explore the artistry within myself, whether it's me creating content like this, fucking off for 30 minutes a day to just create this type of stuff, fucking off for another hour of the day to create some video game content, fucking off for another hour to just sit there and draw and have fun and just learn about myself a little bit. So I was able to tap into that. Now I kind of just want to see what that would look like for the young men later down the line in my life. Can we create that? Does it have to look like royalty and mansions and multiple rooms and space and money? No, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. You can just live off a little and still be peaceful. You understand? My worry is like, you go to places like Japan or Europe. The only issue at the end of the day is just like, okay, the people ain't physically hurting you. You're not going to be in physical harm. You don't have to worry about stray bullets and just being, born and raised within a war zone where I got all these different gangs beefing. It's not necessarily about gang territories. It's just simply about being within a certain zip code at a certain time of day, and the bullets gonna fly because people come in and out. People walk in and out of different areas and spaces. And it's never about the territories, because you can pull up anywhere and start shooting realistically, and that's how it be sometimes. At least where I grew up. This is when the cameras really started getting installed, but this is like pre-camera. So pre-camera, and then when cameras really started to upgrade. That's just the time and era I was in. So I was able to see the tail end of people just like, oh, there's a camera right there. I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to shoot. Some people was living like that. Well, let me get people away from that. Let me get my family or whatever, my family line away from that. Because my great-grandpa, when he came here in the 30s, he probably had the same thought in the islands, in the country that he was coming from, in the Philippines. He was probably going through the same thing, same thought process. Like, hey, man, things could be better here, but for whatever reason, it ain't. And he'd been seeing it for how many generations? At least 1.5. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to get on this boat. I know a little bit of English. I'm going to get on this boat. We're going to make something happen. And he started out the roots here in Seattle. And ever since then, it's just like, it's a constant thing where it's like, there's nothing wrong with having a place that you call home, but there's also nothing wrong with moving to create a new home and make sure that the family that you intend to have, or the family, or just the soul within yourself that you're trying to preserve and protect, has a happy home to be at. Something nurturing, you know what I mean? Why would you want to be in the chaos because it's comfortable? Just because you're used to it and you can handle it. I'm used to it, I can handle it. I be around this shit all day, whether I got the thing on me or not. Whether I got it on me or not. I'm ready for the bullshit. I'm with the shits, man. When I flew to New York, I was with the shits. I ain't had nothing on me. When I was down in Tampa Bay, I was with the shits. I ain't had nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? That's the funny part about it. We with it, man. The funniest thing my friend was saying the other day too was like, any altercation where someone introduces a weapon becomes a fight over that weapon. I was like, that's a fact. That's the way my mind has always been. I don't care if you got a gun or a knife. I didn't grow up with guns or knives. So the moment you start presenting that, that's going to be mine. I already know it because my hands is quick. You know what I'm saying? We snatching things, man. Real quick. Don't let me get within range, because I'll sit there and talk shit with you nose to nose and I'll blah. Sit there with the quickness. And that's just the right, man. We ain't talking about the left. That's just the right. We ain't talking about the left. That's crazy, right? I'm just saying I'm right-handed. That's just the right. We ain't talking about the left. You act like it ain't 1-2. You know, I'm just saying, I ain't here to show off. I'm just here to tell you, man, I'm on some shit like that. It's not to brag, it's just to be honest. So anyway, it's just like, I'm not trying to take that fuck-ass, crazy-ass mentality to Japan necessarily. But I am trying to say like, bruh, I'm with the shits, man. but I got to be with some positive shits too. Listen, man, I'm gonna come back because we over here getting close to the 30 mark. Whenever I'm here in this space, I try to give myself about 2 hours. So if I can get about 3 of these in, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do part 1, part 2, part 3. We're gonna keep the university mindset rolling. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep that rolling, keep adding that in. But in the meantime, man, just know that I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna give y'all another weekly check-in of how this week is going right here. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.